Moving to a new country can be a dream come true, but for many expats, the reality can be far from what they imagined. Whether it's facing cultural shocks, struggling with language barriers, or seeing your savings vanish before your eyes, some destinations are much more likely to turn that dream into a nightmare. In today's video, we'll dive into the top 10 countries that might just ruin your future in 2024. These places may be popular on travel brochures, but living there brings hidden pitfalls that can leave expats frustrated and disappointed. And one of the last facts will surprise you. So stay with us until the end to avoid any unexpected regret. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy content like this. Welcome to World Marvels. 10 Women of Brazil. Brazil is a country that mesmerizes with its rich culture, carnival festivities, and breathtaking beaches. However, for expats, living in Brazil can bring a reality check that goes beyond its sunny surface. One element that stands out is the local perception of beauty. Brazilian women are globally admired for their beauty, and while this adds to Brazil's charm, it can also bring social pressure that affects both expats and locals. Expats might find themselves feeling out of place in a culture where appearance and social presentation are often emphasized. But beauty is far from the biggest challenge. Brazil is infamous for its high crime rates, especially in major cities like Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. In 2024, the crime rate stands at about 23 homicides per 100,000 people, and violent crime remains a constant threat. Expats often report feeling unsafe, with incidents like muggings or phone snatching happening in broad daylight. This feeling of always needing to be on guard can wear you down over time. Job opportunities for foreigners are another struggle. The Brazilian economy can be unpredictable, and unless you're fluent in Portuguese, your employment options shrink significantly. Although English may be spoken in tourist areas, in day-to-day life, communication barriers often lead to frustration. Expats with families also face challenges with education, as Brazil's public school system has its issues, leading many to choose costly private schools, with tuition ranging from $5,000 to $20,000 a year. Combine this with the bureaucratic nightmare of obtaining visas, and Brazil starts to feel less like a dream and more like a survival course. 9. France. The romanticized image of France. Picturesque streets, charming cafes, and the Eiffel Tower is alluring. But for expats, the reality is often a sharp contrast. Moving to France means navigating complex bureaucracy. Simple tasks like opening a bank account or getting utilities set up can feel like navigating an endless maze of paperwork. Even speaking the language poses a significant hurdle for those who aren't fluent. Ordering a croissant may be easy enough, but handling more complex tasks like setting up a phone plan or renting an apartment requires more than just high school French. Social integration is another issue. French society tends to have tight-knit social circles, and breaking into them can take time. Many expats describe feeling isolated or like outsiders, even after living in the country for years. The reserved nature of the French can make forming friendships a slow process. Cost of living in cities like Paris is another factor that catches many off guard. Renting a one-bedroom apartment downtown can easily set you back over $2,200 per month. And even outside of the city center, prices are steep. Utilities, groceries, and transportation add up quickly, and suddenly you're spending $3,500 or more each month just to cover the basics. Although healthcare in France is considered excellent, it's not entirely free. Expats often opt for private insurance to cover the gaps, which adds to the overall cost of living. 8. United States. The American dream, a symbol of freedom, success, and endless opportunities, is what attracts many expats to the US. But once settled, many realize that the dream can turn into a very expensive experiment. Healthcare costs in the US are notoriously high. If you don't have proper insurance, a simple hospital visit can cost tens of thousands of dollars. For expats with pre-existing conditions, the cost of healthcare can become a financial burden that they hadn't anticipated. Safety concerns are another major issue. Gun violence in certain areas remains a constant worry, with states like Alaska and New Mexico reporting over 700 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. Even in safer states, expats often report feeling uneasy due to the overall atmosphere of insecurity. Rent is another major issue, especially in big cities. A 3-bedroom apartment downtown can cost over $3,300 per month, with suburbs only marginally cheaper. For many expats, these living costs make it difficult to maintain the quality of life they'd hoped for. The political climate in the US is another factor that often surprises expats. The divisive nature of American politics means that even casual conversations can become tense. Depending on where you live, your personal views might put you at odds with your neighbors, adding to the feeling of being out of place. 7. Japan. Japan is often seen as a futuristic, serene, and orderly country, but living there comes with its own set of challenges. Japan's work culture is one of the toughest hurdles for expats. The notorious long hours and strict company hierarchies can lead to burnout quickly. The idea of work-life balance is different from what many expats are used to, as staying late at the office is not only expected but seen as a sign of dedication. This can make it difficult for foreigners to adapt and maintain a healthy lifestyle. The cost of living, particularly in cities like Tokyo, can be overwhelming. A 1-bedroom apartment in the city center can easily cost over $1,100 a month, and that's before utilities, groceries, or transportation. Then there's the issue of language. While many Japanese people study English in school, the proficiency levels aren't always high, and expats quickly find that everyday communication can be difficult. Simple tasks, like grocery shopping or reading utility bills, become frustrating. Japan's mental health culture can also be challenging for expats. Therapy and counseling are not as widely accepted, and finding mental health support can be difficult. For expats dealing with stress or culture shock, the lack of open discussions about mental health can leave them feeling isolated. 6. Mexico. Mexico might seem like the ultimate destination for those seeking sun, culture, and affordability. But expats moving to Mexico in 2024 are facing increasing challenges. The crime rate is a significant concern, with over 30,000 crime-related deaths per year, often tied to drug cartels. The reality of living in areas controlled by cartels means daily worries about safety, particularly in regions where violent crime is prevalent. Kidnappings, assaults, and extortion are common, and for expats, this can lead to a life of constant caution. While Mexico is known for its low cost of living, inflation is on the rise, and many expats are surprised by how quickly costs add up. Rent may be affordable, ranging from $600 to $1,000 in major cities, but utilities, groceries, and bribes, yes, bribery is still common, can quickly eat into your budget. Many expats carry cash just in case they're stopped by the police and need to pay a fine on the spot. Healthcare in Mexico is generally affordable, but quality varies widely depending on where you live. In major cities, healthcare is often excellent, but in more rural areas, it can be lacking. Tap water is another concern. Most expats avoid drinking it and even use bottled water for brushing their teeth. Power outages are frequent, especially outside major cities, which can make daily life even more frustrating. 5. Belarus. For expats seeking a fresh start, Belarus might seem like an interesting choice, but the reality is far from ideal. One of the biggest challenges for expats is the political environment. The government maintains strict control over nearly every aspect of life, and for those coming from democratic nations, this can be suffocating. Political dissent is not tolerated, and many expats quickly realize that the freedom they once took for granted is no longer available. Cultural isolation is another major issue. Expats often report feeling unwelcome, with locals sometimes suspicious of foreigners. Even those who make an effort to learn the language and integrate often find it difficult to break through the social barriers. Loneliness and isolation are common feelings among the expat community in Belarus. Financial challenges add to the struggles. The average salary in Belarus is around $500 a month, and even though living costs are low, expats may find it hard to make ends meet. Inflation is another concern, with prices rising steadily, making it difficult to plan for the future. For China, with its booming economy and modern cities, seems like an ideal destination for expats looking for new opportunities. However, living in China comes with several unexpected challenges. The language barrier is one of the biggest hurdles. Mandarin is a difficult language to learn, and even basic tasks like ordering food or hailing a taxi can become complicated if you're not fluent. Expats often find themselves relying on translation apps or struggling to communicate, which adds stress to daily life. China's healthcare system is another mixed bag. In major cities like Beijing or Shanghai, the quality of care can be high, but navigating the system, especially with limited language skills, can be difficult. Pollution is another significant concern, with smoggy days being the norm in many parts of the country. This constant exposure to polluted air takes a toll on your health and can make even outdoor activities feel burdensome. China's political environment can also be challenging. Censorship, surveillance, and restrictions on free speech are commonplace, and expats often feel uneasy living under these conditions. Websites are blocked and social media is monitored, leading to a feeling of constant oversight. 3. United Kingdom. For many expats, the UK represents history, culture, and opportunity. However, the reality of living in the UK is often more complicated than expected. The cost of living in cities like London is astronomical. The average house price in the capital is over $600,000, and renting a one-bedroom apartment can cost more than $2,150 per month. This makes it difficult for expats to maintain a comfortable lifestyle without significant financial resources. The weather is another factor that can wear expats down. The UK experiences an average of 133 rainy days per year, which can lead to a persistent sense of gloom. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is common among expats who struggle to adjust to the lack of sunshine. The National Health Service, NHS, is often praised for being free at the point of use, but long wait times for appointments can be frustrating. Patients may wait over 18 weeks to see a specialist, and the shortage of doctors and nurses only adds to the strain on the system. 2. Canada. Canada is often seen as a welcoming and peaceful country, but for many expats, it brings unexpected challenges. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, the cost of living is incredibly high. A one-bedroom apartment in downtown Toronto can cost around $2,000 per month, and when you add groceries and utilities, it's easy to see how expats can quickly feel overwhelmed by the cost of living. Finding a job is another hurdle. Many expats arrive in Canada with high hopes, only to find that their qualifications are not recognized. Engineers, doctors, and other professionals often find themselves working in low-paying jobs, like driving for Uber or working retail, as they struggle to navigate the Canadian certification process. Cold winters are another factor that makes life difficult. Temperatures can drop well below freezing, and for expats who aren't used to the cold, the long winters can feel unbearable. Isolation and homesickness are common, especially during the winter months when outdoor activities are limited. 1. India. India is a country of contrasts. Stunning landscapes, vibrant culture, and intense daily life. But for expats, the experience can be overwhelming. The traffic is chaotic, the streets are noisy, and pollution is a constant issue in cities like Delhi. Getting across town can feel like navigating an obstacle course, with traffic jams, honking horns, and unpredictable road conditions. The cost of healthcare is another challenge. While India has world-class private hospitals, they come with a high price tag. Public hospitals are overcrowded and underfunded, leaving expats with few affordable healthcare options. Women, in particular, face additional challenges related to safety and harassment, making it difficult to feel secure in public spaces. Cultural differences can also make daily life challenging. Haggling in markets, navigating the bureaucracy, and adjusting to the pace of life can leave expats feeling exhausted. While India is a fascinating place to visit, living there requires patience, flexibility, and a strong sense of adventure. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the countries that could turn your dream of living abroad into a regret-filled reality. Have you ever had an expat experience that wasn't what you expected? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video if you found it helpful. Your support helps us bring more great content. What country would you like to explore next? We can't wait to see your suggestions. Thank you for watching World Marvels.